Yep, what's good, chat? It's your boy Trace. All right, today I'm gonna show y'all all of my different exhaust setups, from the stock one to the one that I got a few days after I got the car, to the one that I ran the longest, and then now to the one that I'm running right there, which is the tri-tip center exit. Hopefully y'all can get some ideas on some cheap, affordable, custom exhaust setups, so you don't have to fork out however much for like a Cork Sport win. You can go get these made, fabbed up at any exhaust shop. So yeah, I get into it. My first one, I'm not even finna talk about this stock. Well, I'll say this stock one is heavier than I expected. Also, if you go with any kind of, custom exhaust, please do not let the shop do this right here. Don't ever in your life go to an exhaust shop and let them cut your muffler off, especially if they're the flange. The very first shop I went to cut my stock exhaust off and then just welded it together. So actually, let me get in there since we talk about it now. So look right here, these ugly welds, but it did its job, So this was the cheapest one that I got. You can see like right here, the welds aren't the prettiest. You get what you pay for, all right? So yeah, it didn't sound bad. I'm not gonna hold you. For the most part, it's pretty simple. So I got the tips off of Amazon. The pipe and everything like that, you can also get off of Amazon. But if you go to, any exhaust shop pretty much, they'll have some pipe. Now this is just mild steel. You can get stainless steel for a little bit more. You can even get titanium. This one right here, I probably spent like $250 getting it made. I provided the tips and I took it to the shop and I told them exactly what I want. They're known for working on Mustangs. So, it was pretty much, I'd take it, tell them, hey, I want it straight piped, or, from the axle back pretty much. And then I gave them the tips and they put it together for me. All right, so moving on to the next one that I got done. And I would say this is probably the most efficient one. It's the single exit with the vibrant resonator attached, all right? So I ran this one the longest. It's also the lightest one compared to the dual exit that I have right here. And then especially compared to the stock one that I have right here. The single exit exhaust is pretty much the lightest. I mean, you could make it titanium, but it's pretty light. I'm not gonna hold you. If you just wanna keep it simple, keep it cheap, you can go with the single exit. It'll definitely be more efficient than going with the dual exit. I know, the stock bumper, y'all looking at this and y'all like, this ain't even a stock diffuser. Like you trying to tell me about a dual or a single exit. You got a damn center exit. I get y'all, but I have another diffuser. Matter of fact, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get that. This is the diffuser that I was running before I put that one, the custom one that I'm running now. This is the, I think it's the Basin RT H style diffuser. If you don't want one of my designs, I would probably say this is the nicest looking diffuser that you can buy for the Mazda 3 4th gen. And I did, let me show y'all what I did. Cause y'all know I like to be a little extra. I added this brake light bracket, right? It's the same brake light pretty much that I'm running currently. But this bracket is made for the TH style diffuser. So, and this is pretty much how it mounts, just like that, all right? So if y'all want that, let me know, drop it in the comments. I can leave the light kit as well as the light attachment, the bracket. I'll post it on my website and then y'all can feel free to go crazy with that. This is the diffuser that I was running in my intro video. I don't think I'm gonna be selling it. There's a few people who, they be asking, hey, you got any old parts you're not really using no more? I'm not using this right now, but I'm probably gonna put this back on the car while I finish the rear diffuser. Oh, my vent popping out? My vent popping out, yo. It don't matter, I ain't worried about that. But yeah, so while the rear diffuser is getting finished, I'm gonna probably run this one again. So I'll make a video about, taking all this off, putting all this on and reconnecting this light. Just wanted to kind of show y'all the diffuser I was running whenever I had these right here. But anyway, back to this one right here. If I wasn't running that one, I would definitely still be running this one and I would continue to run this one. This one right here is, I would say, probably the perfect axle back exhaust, all right? It's a single exit axle back with a vibrant sport resonator. Again, I got this off of Amazon. I got this tip off of Amazon and I took it to a shop because I don't have a welder. And I literally just took it to a shop when I had this one on. And I told them, hey, this is what I want. I got the parts. Can y'all make it happen? I took it to a different shop because I didn't like the way they cut up my muffler and didn't put a flange on. So whenever I got this one made, I did some work to the actual mid pipe. So I keep my cats at home. Let's just say that. I keep all my cats at the house. The cats keep the rats out. I don't take my cats with me when I leave the house. All right. That's all I'm gonna pretty much say about that. You can do what you want with that information. This is the vibrant race resonator or the sport resonator, whatever you want to call it. I also have a vibrant ultra quiet resonator further up on the mid pipe, if you know what I mean. I just wanted to explain that because this isn't the only resonator. Currently I have 2 resonators, stock one, and then I have that vibrant that's, you know, on the mid pipe. With this one, I had 3 resonators, and it was actually a lot quieter than this one is. If y'all want a quiet exhaust, but y'all still want the performance and efficiency, go with a single exit and put a vibrant resonator on here, all right? That's what I did. Me personally, I noticed huge improvements in like responsiveness, acceleration, and things like that. I don't want to say it's all in the tune, okay? It does have to do with airflow. It's lighter than it's way lighter than the stock one. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one here. And we go, oh, well, actually, before I get into that one more thing I should say about this one, all right? Because someone was saying the stock diffuser has space for 2 exhaust holes, right? So what I did was, this is what I did, all right? These are my fiberglass winglets. Before I started, oh, they're the wrong way actually. So this one goes over here and this one goes over here, all right? So I was running these, that was working for me. If anybody does want to go with like a single exit exhaust and they don't like the way the bumper looks, having that hole there for the other tip, let me know. I can make a stock bumper, you know, cutoff plate. It'll just slide in and, you know, I'll do my best to make it look like an OEM plus piece. All right, we don't have to go crazy like this stuff right here. Speaking of this stuff right here, let me get into this exhaust. All right, so this is my, I would call it the LFA, or the rocket ship, the spaceship exhaust, the rocket power exhaust, however you want to say it, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. You ain't running it, I am. So I've actually been planning this exhaust for a very long time. It's been an idea in the back of my mind. I don't even want to say in the back of my mind because, sit my ass down real quick. I'm finna tell y'all the story about this exhaust, all right? So I started the design for this exhaust like 2.5 years ago. And I bought, again, like I said, I buy a lot of stuff off of Amazon and just start piecing stuff together, all right? I know this exhaust is not for everybody, but for the people who aren't interested, I started with this right here, all right? I had this idea in my head. I was thinking spaceship, rocket ship. And so, yeah, I kind of, you know, space shuttle. So with this, I took all the parts to the shop. Every single part I needed for it, I took to the shop. The tubing, everything, I took all of it. And what he told me was, keep your stuff. You gave me a good idea. Let me see what I can do. And Brody Bro at the shop whipped this together. All right, Paco's Muffler, if anybody interested, hit them up if y'all want some exhaust work done and y'all on the east side of Houston.
When you put it on reverse, bro, you can see like just the tips. So, like,
yeah, right? It looks good.
You can like see the actual smoke coming out when you reverse.
That's what, yeah, bro. Nah, dude, this is perfect. This is perfect. Once I finish the diffuser,
it won't vibrate because none of it is like touching, bro. You see how the other ones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, no. They're flush. Like,
no, that's perfect, dude. No,
yeah. And the gold with the blue, bro. That's sick combo, man.
Nah, this is good. I appreciate you,
that chrome thing was going somewhere special, man. I've had it for about a year too.
Oh man, no, this is good.
Yeah.
It's been sitting there, right? You was like, somebody's gonna. Nah, yeah, no, this is perfect.
Gonna do something.
They did have to make custom exhaust hangers. One of them was not in the best spot. They attached one of the exhaust hangers to my battery ground bolt. And I ended up relocating the battery ground because it was easier to do that than it was to relocate the exhaust hanger. That was one thing about, you know, creating this exhaust. Everything else though, great. There isn't a resonator on this one. This one axle back straight pipe pretty much, like it's all pipe, no muffler, no resonator. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the crazy stuff. If we want to get back to the regular stuff, I would say this is the most efficient exhaust you can get at an affordable price. It's cheaper than a Cork Sport exhaust. I paid literally like $250 to get this entire thing done. It uses the stock hanger positions. If you go to any exhaust shop, they'll probably have a tip you can buy, but you can also buy them on Amazon. All of the exhaust tips that I run are 4-inch outlets. These right here, these were the cheapest. I don't want to say the cheapest, but these were some pretty cheap exhaust tips that I got because I really, like before I did this one, I was just fleshing out the design and I was gonna put this one on my car. The reason I didn't was because these pipes were just a little bit too big and they were all touching each other. And I was afraid of vibrations and things like that and welds cracking. So I ended up not going with this one. I went to a professional. They had everything that I needed based on the design that I was going with. They were able to take my concept and actually bring it to life. This is the concept, and then this is the actual execution. I think the execution came out a lot better than this concept that I had. How much was it? Too expensive. I say that. I paid way too much. I don't want to say way too much because for me, it was worth it. But for the average person, probably not trying to pay $400, $450. I mean, again, $400, $450, I think that's actually cheaper than the Cork Sports, you know? And I love how this sounds, but it's not for everybody. This one right here, this one could be for everybody. This one right here, this one could be for everybody. Get better welds. Don't get these welds. This is a shit weld. Don't do that. This right here, my very first exhaust on this car, this was a horrible exhaust. It was loud, yes, but it was horrible for performance due to, you know, the exhaust leaks and things like that. Also, don't let them cut into your stock muffler if they can take it off on the flange, all right? This right here, this is a no-no. They could have undid that. Like, they could have unbolted that and kept my stock flange on and then just, yeah, I don't know why they did that, man. I don't know why they did that. But it is what it is. I don't care. I'm never putting this back on. But yeah, I think that's it pretty much for my exhaust. One other thing I forgot to talk about. Let me talk about that real quick. Pipe diameter. The pipe diameter for a supercharged Mazda 3 versus the turbocharged Mazda 3 versus the stock Mazda 3. All right, this right here, this is the stock piping, 2.25 inch diameter. Then we go up to the 2.5 inch diameter that most exhaust shops are going to have, and most of the time that's what you're going to find aftermarket. All right, I don't know many aftermarket places you can find a 2.25 diameter exhaust pipe. With that being said, all of my pipes are 2.5 inch exhausts. All right, me personally, I don't necessarily care for the whole, oh, 2.25 is more efficient. Bruh, I'm running this because it's loud and it looked different. If I really wanted efficiency, I would still be running that junk right there. And I probably would have just did some titanium shit. It's not, you know, for me, efficiency ain't, you know, eventually. But right now, bro, I just wanted some different shit. All right. If you are going for efficiency though, do your best. If you are stock, do your best to stick to the stock piping size. All right. If you can't find a stock piping size, then I mean, just go with the 2.5. That's the next, you know, the next smallest. Don't put a 3-inch exhaust. All right. Listen to me. Do not put a 3-inch exhaust on your stock or supercharged car. Turbocharged, sure, go for it. Go for it. I don't know much about turbocharged Mazda 3s. Somebody with a turbocharged Mazda 3 can let me know if y'all running a 3-inch exhaust. But if you got a naturally aspirated or a supercharged Mazda 3, please do what you want. 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 But you're not doing yourself no favors putting a 3-inch exhaust on your stock Mazda 3. All right, I'm just letting you know now. Hey, there's a few more things that I feel like I should tell y'all, like exhaust scavenging and things like that. Those are kind of out of my field of expertise. I'm not a professional when it comes to this. I am a designer. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a welder. I'm a designer. I design cars, and I just so happen to build them and put them together. And I just so happen to be kind of good at it. But I'm not a welder and I'm not a mechanic. So I don't necessarily know the ins and outs, all the scientific stuff about it. I just be doing shit, bro, and seeing what happens. So, like I said, this one right here, like $200, $250. That one right there, $200, $250. This one is light, super light. It's not super duper light. It could be lighter. Obviously, you get some titanium in it, John, but it's light for what it is. And then this one right here is just super loud. Like, you know, it's unnecessary, but I like it. I like it. I like it. It's stupid. And why not, right? Yeah, why not? I build my car for me. I don't build my car for nobody else. I'm not one of those people who just gonna build their car for the internet's approval. I build my car the way I feel like building my car. And I appreciate everybody who tunes in to watch me build my car. Anybody who's getting any kind of like inspiration or anything. But the one thing I wanna say is build your car for you. Don't build your car for any kind of internet approval. Because in the long run, you're the only one driving it, not them.